just trying to survive, just day by day by day, trying to survive, trying to keep a home that was going into foreclosure, trying to do everything in my power to just stay afloat, not to live, just stay afloat.
Divine intervention is when you have an angel. You have angels following you, helping you. Okay? I'm looking at one right now. She was your angel. She was brought to you. And that is the reason why you're telling this story.
I would like to introduce my sister. We never grew up in the same family, but we are part of the same soul family. And Donna is the epitome of tenacity and vision. And we're going to talk about why she has this spirit that never falters. She is the true essence of the phrase, never give up. And I've watched her over the years. We have known each other since the summer of 2009. And we're going to share a little bit about that story, because that story of how we met is the reason we're here today. And so welcome, Donna Butler.
This is great. Thank you all. Thank you guys so much for having me. This is amazing. I just want you to know, if you can feel something through the screen, you should be able to feel this power right now, because you all are bringing it tonight.
So I'm so stoked about our friendship and to bring everybody into that. We're going to explain where stoke came from and some of the other terminologies that you're going to hear tonight. Donna is here to share her journey to divine intervention, the series. Yay. And where did it begin? That's the big part of the story. Donna and I wrote a book together, Journey of the Soul Car, about 10 years ago. And Donna, would you read the opening paragraph? Because
yeah, it's our life.
You wrote it.
Okay, it says, break, break, break. Damn it, woman, break. I screamed and screamed and screamed. Nothing happened. It was as if I was in the passenger seat and I was pushing a brake pedal that wasn't there. Pump, pump, pump. No response, nothing. The vehicle slammed into the guardrail. My hands held tight to the wheel, but it did not yield to my commands. The impact was shocking. Careening out of control over the past, all that was firm and solid under my feet. I could not see anything, yet felt every single jolt as the car slid further and further down into the darkness. Oh God, what is down there? How far will it go? When will it stop? My mind was in chaos. Fear struck every fiber of my body. My mouth was open, the scream never ending. Thoughts whirling around in my head like a tornado as this all played out right before my eyes. I was caught up in a storm, no control. I had no control to change this path I was on, or did I? It was then the car came to a sudden, jarring stop. It was the summer of 2009. I had not been in a car accident, not in a physical car accident to say. I had been broadsided by a life-changing situation that was like a Mack truck. Its effect on my innermost being was everything I just described above: the mental chaos, the fear, the loss of control, the silent scream, everything.
Donna, before 2009, how would you have described your life in, say, the decade leading up to that?
Just what I just read, out of control. no determination, just trying to survive, just day by day by day, trying to survive, trying to keep a home that was going into foreclosure, trying to do everything in my power to just stay afloat, not to live, just stay afloat.
And that silent scream, what was the catalyst that started the next phase of the journey? Something happened.
My husband broke his ankles. He jumped off the roof playing with our kids, and he broke both of his ankles and couldn't walk for almost a year. So I had to go get a job. I had to take care of a home that we already were over our head. And I had to go find a job. My bakery had closed. And I was just trying to take care of my family the best way I knew how. And to go back into the workforce and go work for a pizza kitchen and be around a bunch of kids all day, it was more like I was a babysitter than I was somebody trying to earn a living.
So then there was this, I call it a divine intervention, a divine meeting.
Yeah.
And you had just crawled out of a corner of your living room. Why were you in that corner?
I took my husband's his painkillers. I had started taking those. I was on like number 6. And I was being sick. My daughter and her husband had moved in with us. It was a full house. And the only thing I could think of was how I would look in the morning when they woke up. I had a son in one room, a little boy, he was 7. And I had another little girl. And I just thought that when they walked in, they make it look so good on TV. You always look so beautiful when you commit suicide. But that's not the reality. I thought, I'm taking these pills. It was already starting to make me sick. I was already sleepy. And I didn't think that was going to be looking too good when they woke up and came and found me dead on the floor. So across the room, I keep journals. And across the room was a journal that I had been writing on. And I started writing in it and telling my oldest daughter, Haley, that I'm sorry. And this is what you would find. And so I crawled out of the corner and my computer was pulled up. And there was a query from this lady. She was looking for stories. So I answered her query to tell her that I was about to kill myself. What she think about telling that story? And she reached right out. She didn't know me. And she started talking to me. I can almost remember the very first thing that she said to me. She asked me, what was so bad? And when I told her what was so bad, it was like she was taking my hand pretty much right there. And she walked me through that whole almost that whole day. She talked back and forth to me almost that whole day. She checked on me. We decided not to do my story, but to do our story. And that's when everything changed. When I tell you immediately, it changed. You wouldn't have thought that this white girl from Canada, right across the screen, would have connected to this Black chick that wanted nothing more to do than die. And that's all I really wanted to do that night, was die. So you wouldn't have thought that that would have been a connection. I have a family, a good support system, but at the time that I was doing what I was doing, I just wanted the pain to stop. And all the amount of family or anyone else could have done that night, what I was trying to achieve. But the divine intervention came when I saw that open journal across the room with the computer sitting right there on top of it. And had I not crawled back over there, I would have never saw that query that said they were looking for life-changing stories. So how about that for a life-changing story? And now she's talking to me. Now she's talking to me. All this time, we still have this concept that I want to say real quick. It's called the toe chain concept. And when you grab one sister, you have two hands. One hand you grab and you hold on as tight as you can. And then that other hand, you take it and you put it behind you, because there's always going to be a sister behind you. She is always going to be back there. You better grab her hand and pull her, and teach her to take that other free hand and pull the next sister that's behind her. Because I promise you, we may not say it now, but there's always a sister behind you with her hand held out. Always. You don't have to look far.
And we talked like we'd known each other our entire lives. And I believe that we did. We just didn't know it. And
we did.
And Donna, you say it all the time. I changed your life. I saved your life. You changed my life. You saved my life, because what did we do after that phone call?
Man, we started working on the Broke Wives Club. We said, we got to do something with this, because we said it's just not us. You were telling me stories that, and I'm going to share it. You had to decide, you had to get rid of everything. And you had to decide which pair of black pants to get rid of. You said you could only have so many black pair of pants. But beyond that was you having to get rid of things because you were living out in your car at one moment. You were living in ways that.
Not the only person that's ever been there. I'm sure a lot of people that are listening tonight have been there.
No. Yeah.
There. It's tough. It's hard. And there's people that don't want you to achieve. They steal your ideas. They fight you. They get you into shady deals, or they block you from great connections. They are naysayers and happiness haters, and they just wish you pain.
Don't you know it?
And you went through a lot of that.
Yes. I just went through it again this past 72 hours, as I told you.
Mm-hmm.
Again, and it comes back to divine intervention. It comes back to how bad you want something. Anyone knows I am so passionate about divine intervention. I eat, I sleep, I drink it. I do this, and it is my child. It is part of me. And so when you tamper with it, you tamper with me, and you're tampering with my growth, my mental health, all of that. Because when you have a passion project, that all goes into it. So for the past 72 hours, I've been fighting those that don't want it to go any further. They have their own agenda. Some are disgruntled because they didn't get up the part that they wanted. Some are disgruntled because I won't accept what they want to invest, because all money isn't good money. Let's just say all money isn't good money. Sometimes it comes with a price that I'm not willing to pay. And so for 72 hours, I've been fighting a lot of forces. I've been fighting a lot of naysayers, a lot of haters. And I told Siobhan, I spent 5 hours, to the shock of my family, unmoving on my bed. Kind of took me back to 2009. And then divine intervention stepped in again, so big this time, and said, get up. As sure as I'm sitting here talking to you all, get up. What are you doing? What are you doing? You are better than this. You are bigger than this. You have worked so hard. Get up. And I got up. I did. Just like that, I got up. And I pushed a different button. You know, we always have those same buttons. I don't care where you go. It's the same button. You push the same button before you go to bed at night. You know, you push the light out before you go to bed. We all do something that we, you know, repeatedly do. And I was pushing the same button. I was going back into that victim mode so fast. My hand was on the, and that get up, get out, do what you have to do. You've worked so hard. Do not fail. Do not give up. Do not fold. Don't go back in that corner, because no matter what, it's something always going to come back. It comes back unless you totally eradicate it. It's going to come back. And that's what I learned. Guess what? I hadn't totally erased it yet. So divine intervention, she just kind of floated on top of me and told me to get up, got me up today, and really pushed me like never before. I had to go inside of myself. I had to go inside. And that is a scary place. Because you got to start, you know, Siobhan, we got to start unloading our trunk. We got to start pulling out all that stuff we hate to even look at, but we have to. And when we get to it this time, we look at it and we say, you know, you're always going to be my friend, because you're always there. You always gave me comfort. I always knew that if I wanted to get rid of myself, I knew I could always go push that button. I knew I could always be the victim and I would have an excuse. But that button in me, we had to part ways. So the button had to be pulled out, disconnected, all the wiring, and I had to rewire.
I want to go now to the book called Divine Intervention. What was the spark that started you on this next journey of your life after the attitude shift, after the Broke Wives Club? Where did this come from, divine intervention, and what is it about?
Divine intervention is just exactly another part of divine intervention in my life, a book within a book. My daughter, she's a recovering heroin addict, and you know that. We spent a lot of time walking during her recovery, and we would like to go on the levee. She likes water, and she loves walking on the levee. So getting her back in shape and just reaching for whatever to help her feel good about herself, feel good. She wanted to go on the levee. So her hair that day was horrible. She had been going through the devil, you know, wanting to pull her back in. She had played through her hair. She wrapped a turban. For the first time, she wrapped a turban on her head and said, I don't care what I look like, let's go. So we went down on the levee. She had this turban wrapped on her head. And it's crazy because the steamboat was down there this time. We've been down there so many times and had never got to see the real steamboat that runs along the Mississippi River and takes tours. So there was this biggest day in front of us, and we were both like, wow, this is so cool. And she looked at me and she says, I wonder what it would have been like for someone that looks like me to have been back in the times of this paddle boat, this luxury boat where, you know, she would not have been wanted. I would not have been wanted. And so when she said that, I just kind of stopped right there and sat down. There was a bench. I sat on that bench and I stared at that paddle boat and I looked at her and I stared at it. I looked at her and I said, you know what? I wonder what would happen if you, being who you are right now, you went back to in time to 1836, what you would be like. And right then and there, it just came to me, let's take her back to 1836. This light-skinned mulatto daughter of mine, let's take her back to 1836 and see what she would be doing. So we did, I did my research. I put her in 1836. She would have been a house nigger. And people take offense, out of these 19 people, somebody's gonna say she used the word house nigger. Yes, I did. She would have been in the house because of her fair skin, her complexion. She would have been in the house, and she probably would have been a product of the master having sex with a slave and making her. So we played around with that for a while, and I wasn't happy. I wasn't satisfied. I said, you see that every day. You know, you see that every day on TV. You see Ruth, you see this, you see that. You see that every day. So I went to bed that night I sleep with a pen and paper by my bed. I still do. And I went to sleep and it was like I dreamt this. I'm telling you, this is divine intervention. I dreamt this. I dreamt that my daughter not only was a slave in 1836, she bounced back to 2020, still being a slave. So I woke up at 2:35 in the morning and I wrote the first 12 pages of two slaves from 1836 being transported to 2020. And that's how Divine Intervention started. The book, that's how the book started. And so I wrote nonstop for almost 5 months straight. And when I say nonstop, it was nonstop. I handed the book over to an editor with all my savings. When I say all my savings, Siobhan, you know, when I say all my savings, everything. I handed the book over to an editor, all my savings. I got sick. I found that I had an ulcer and I had GERD. And I got really sick and I spent a couple of days in the hospital. I came home, my book had been sent to be published. I got the book back and honey, I have never seen more errors. She took all my money and did not do anything to the book. It was nothing done. Everything was as it was, and it had been sent to Amazon to be published. So when I got the book back, I was very disappointed because there were so many things that didn't get done. I threw the first book down and said, you know what? I want to see it. Let's make a movie. Let's make a series. And I said, this way I'll direct it myself. That way I don't have to worry about anybody messing up my words, not publishing or publishing it the way they want. And so we did. Independent filmmaker, I became overnight. And we started filming Divine Intervention. So that's how it started. That's right there is how everything started.
You
I know it's a lot, huh?
I actually didn't know that story because we don't talk as often as we used to because of when we were doing the Attitude Shift show, we talked every week, several times a week.
Yeah.
And then our lives got in the way the past 5 years or so. And I haven't read the book yet. But
I told you, you don't need to read the book. You have me and you can go to the page. It tells, we are very transparent. I do from start to finish on the Divine Intervention page on Facebook. You can see every blunder, everything is right there. The book is laying you up. The series will be the big cherries and stuff on top.
And I wanted you to read a passage, but I don't think we're going to have enough time because I want to get our panelists in and I want to get you guys talking about whatever comes forward from here. And so there is a video of you reading, and hopefully Gillian will share that. And now I'd just like to bring in Gabriela Daughtrey, health advocate, and Dr. Roni Singleton, naturopathic doctor to Steve Harvey and other celebrities. So would you join us, please?
That story, I'm still like in a state of shock. Gotta wake me up to come out of it. It was so beautiful, and the way you speak about it, it is so passionate and so emotional. So many people need to hear your story because right now, as I speak, I know a lot of those people, right? I don't just deal with cancer and, dementia and Lyme disease, but a lot of these people have so much pain. And if you do the science of why people even get cancer, you'll see that they come from the story that you just told. It ends up in what's called a toxic emotional cellular mess. And that causes disease. And your story is just so beautiful because it brings me all the way back to when I was a pediatric nurse at Yale New Haven Hospital, and I was dealing with rare syndromes. If I was to follow those same people that came from broken homes, came from drug babies, there were even a child that was thrown in a trash can. I mean, the stories was just so monumental. And being a young nurse at that time, before I became a naturopath, I thought it was normal. And then I got older and I realized, no, that you were not working in a normal hospital where people get pneumonia and people get colds and a broken leg. You were working in something called rare syndromes, where people came from homes that were broken, people that didn't eat for like days in and days out, people that was shoved in closets. I took care of a child that was in a closet for months. And these are people that were called broken, and that people like you that went through horrific situations that was never helped. And God, if you look at those people today, divine intervention is when you have an angel. You have angels following you, helping you. Okay? I'm looking at one right now. She was your angel. She was brought to you. And that is the reason why you're telling this story, is because you have to tell your story. Because there are so many people that didn't get to do it, and they are not going to survive. And many of them did not survive. So never, ever stop, because I can tell you some things that will just blow you away, but I cannot do that tonight. That's another night. But I know that I feel everything that you said here, because I've experienced it as a medical person in a hospital that had serious whole body diseases that came from emotional trauma. That's what you went through. And thank God you found your angel. She's right here. She's looking at you and she's still with you.
And you know, what I really look at, that it could have worked out a whole completely different way. Just like you said, the timing for everything. And if we look at that in our lives, if we start looking at the timing in our lives and realize that and I'm honest, our timing isn't our timing. It's really not. It's not our timing. We are just on a schedule of someone else's, our higher power, our universe. We're on that schedule. We're fitting that schedule. And that's what we have to learn. And I for one, like I said, when I pulled that wiring out, and it feels so much better. Plus, I've been taking this new product. I'll tell y'all about that later. But for real, that is the thing. When you pull out that old wiring and try to replace it, you know, replace it honestly. You know, rip it all out, not a piece of it, take it all out and look at it. And look at how dirty it is. Look at all that stuff I was carrying. You know, that one thing I knew I could sure count on was when you get tired, you can always check out.
Gabriela, you know, we love to hear your voice as somebody, a mother, you know, and a health and wellness advocate. And you haven't met Donna until this evening. So I had the pleasure of meeting her before. So what did you think of her story tonight?
Well, it's a story of a survival. And I mean, I admire you for it, and for you to share it. And, you know, it's very, you know, we all have crisis in our lives, some of us more than others. But, you know, Siobhan really did, you know, like she's an amazing lady too. And, you know, that's what I love about this Glow Tribe. You know, we are here to help each other through whatever challenges we have in life. But, I mean, you made this challenge that you had, this adversity in your life, into a positive thing. And for that, you're our hero. I really do think that you are a survivor, and you are here to show others that are going through what you're going through that there is this just a chapter in your life. It's not your whole life. It's not going to be like that forever. And it's just a chapter. And we as women, of course, we're more emotional. We're more needy. We're more this, we're more that. We need to help each other. And, you know, even if it's just to listen. And that's one thing about, you know, I could talk to my husband about something that's bugging me, and I just want to have him hear me out. I don't go to him to solve my problem. but men consider us as, oh, now she's bitching again. Excuse my language. No, but I feel like we women, we need women to share. We need women to even just to listen. And you are our angels. And I congratulate you for writing this book. And I really look forward to buying it on. Is it on Amazon?
It is on Amazon. Y'all, I have to say something real quick because there's two other people. I see Cynthia. Cynthia, you're my girl. You already know that. But I have two of my actresses on this. I'm looking at their faces, and I'm really. One is my sister. If anyone doesn't know, my sister is Patricia Jenkins. That's my sissy. That is her. That is her, and she's amazing. She's sitting quiet, but she knows she's on my other shoulder too. I love her dearly. But Anisha Owens, that is one of my actresses. She is new. You guys, when I say new, I just met her when I casted her for a role. And you guys, her spirit is so amazing and so strong. And I cannot wait for you all to really meet her and put that hug around her. She feels that toe chain, because I tell you, Anisha, I'm so glad to see you. You're in the right spot, baby girl. You are in the right spot. So I just want you to know that. That's it. That's all I wanted to say. I just had to throw that out there. That's sisterhood, you know?
Absolutely.
You know, and that's important. So Siobhan, I know what, just to keep in attention of time for everybody, if you don't mind, I'm just going to interject a little bit because I just want to have clarity. We talk about the book, we talk about the vision, Donna, but you're actually filming a TV series and and you've done the casting. When, like, I'm really excited to like listen in and watch that. That to me is like, oh my gosh. Like the idea that you've taken an idea and formatted a book, and now you actually have a TV series, and you have like 50 Cent, like actually like helping you produce this. Like, this is like unbelievable to me. How did you do that? How did that's divine intervention right there to me. How did that happen?
Look, I'm going to tell you this. I wanted a name, and I wanted someone that I figured would be able to help move it forward a lot faster. And I'm going to be honest, I spotted Curtis Jackson in 2018. It had nothing to do with divine intervention. He sang a rap song, Go Shorty, It's Your Birthday. And I liked that song so much. And I kind of had, that little girl, that girl crush on him. He had that body. I'm going to be honest, husband's over there somewhere. But, I just this crush on 50 Cent, on Curtis Jackson. So imagine when I hear, and he did just for me, Curtis Jackson, when you're listening to this, you put Millennial Studios in Shreveport just for me. So I would be able to bring divine intervention there. Because when they said he was getting the Millennial Studios in Shreveport, I started digging and doing research. I met a man named Oliver Hall. I put a book in his hand and he said, oh my gosh, you're just what I'm looking for. Independent filmmaker. So he says, I challenge you. Let's see what you got. So we're under a gun right now. We are waiting. 50 Cent is going to be in Shreveport with his studio opening and looking for something like me, someone like me. So we'll begin filming January 25th. January 25th, we begin filming episode 1. We will be handing that episode. I need this girl power. Let's pull it in. We should be handing this episode over to Millennial Studios March 31st. And that is our goal, is to have a complete episode. That is a challenge that I have. A complete episode, episode 1, handed over to Millennial Studios that day. And at that point, that will air, and we will be not only in the door, we'll be pulling all of y'all with us, because that's how the toe chain works. I know each and every one of you on this screen does something that I could use. And I am dead serious. My sister's smiling because she knows I'm serious. There isn't a soul on here that can't do anything that has to do with divine intervention. So keep in mind, I see you. I will be calling you.
Wow.
I'm not joking.
So you will be coming to Martha's Vineyard.
You just need to bring me there, and I'll bring that pitch package, and we will see, because I know there is talent everywhere. I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it. I am looking at it. So this is what my goal is to get this ready, to get this in their hands. And we're looking at it in summer 2024 on television. That's the goal.
And that's about supporting each other. And to what, Donna, I just love your analogy about the chains, about the chain links, and if they break, we have to hold it together, front and backwards. I'm always about supporting each other. And I think this is a great venue, regardless of the sisters and the misters in the house. We want to be able to surround ourselves with those people that, my mantra, my community of feel good, share good. And if you feel good, you share good, and ultimately you'll do good. And that is exactly what we're here for today. And we want more people showing up. I want more people showing those high vibing stories or those counsel that may help somebody else. You never know, your story could be somebody else's survival guide. So never, ever underestimate the power of sharing, ever. And, because we may feel like we're too ashamed, or our pride gets in the way, but that little snippet into our reality, our authenticity, could be helping somebody overcome. And to your point, Donna, when you did that with Siobhan, your angel, look what happened. You're here to pass it on to everybody.
Absolutely.
Thank you for that. Final word, Donna or Siobhan.
Donna, you have lots to say.
Grab that link, grab the link. And for you, Michael, you know what we're saying? Grab a sister's hand. I always say the gentleman in the toe chain, they're always the brass ring. They're always the brass ring. So run that chain and put that brass ring in there in between, and we'll be going strong. We can't leave you guys out. We can't leave you all out. So I want to thank everybody that sat here and heard and loved. And please go out and grab somebody. When you get off this phone call, when you get off of this, call somebody, text somebody, do something. Go give it to somebody else. Go touch somebody with that energy we just generated right here. And I love you all. You guys think I'm kidding. I will be reaching out because every one of you guys have something that you can bring to divine. I know it. I know it. I know it.
Okay. I challenge everybody this week to do what, Donna's doing, which is be authentic, share your story, pay it forward, find another sister or mister and needs your hand to hold. And don't be afraid to share something that might help them have a better tomorrow.